What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a great day whenever you're watching this. Guys, comment down below. How's your day going? All that good stuff, I just want to know how you guys are doing. Listen, before we get into this video, I just want to make a quick announcement. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you guys are on YouTube, just stop, hold the video down, and then go check out the subscribe button, smash it there. I'd really appreciate all the support. And if you're on TikTok, go over to the YouTube. Same handle, same everything. Go check it out there and smash the subscribe button. I appreciate that. And maybe on TikTok we can do something like 30 followers or something by the end of the year. I don't know. But I appreciate all the support and the love, guys, on the videos and on the TikToks and all that recently. I appreciate it immensely. But listen, I want to talk about an interesting topic today, actually. And that is, do you think, guys, hold up, do you think that leaks are ruining our entertainment? And by entertainment, I mean like our sport, maybe, our sport, our movies, so the movie industry, like movies and series, and then games. For me, these are the big three. This is the big three for me, because there's the content that I consume mainly. There's the things that I'm very interested in, and those things that I not invest, but spend time with, basically. So as far as sports concerned, let me mention how sport leaks are even a thing. So usually, sometimes when I'm watching football and I'm trying to stay like in the loop of the season, there is leaks sometimes ahead of time that this player will move to a certain club. So if you're like following, for example, Arsenal, and they were about to sign, I think, Eze. They were about to sign Eze, and people were busy following the news and the media about, oh, is he going to this club, and is he going to be in talks with this with the signing now to Arsenal? And people will say that, I've seen people talk about it online recently, is that ruining the surprise and the fun of having like the news outlets announce like, oh my word, this is confirmed. People usually can confirm things like with signings and who's playing in the starting lineup and things like that days before the time, sometimes hours before the time. And for me, like, does it ruin the fun? I mean, it ruins the surprise a little bit, especially if you're a super hardcore fan, that's invested time to following the club, following the players. When you're watching the sport, sometimes, I mean, nowadays you're not even surprised really when like a new signing happens, because you're like, oh, I heard talks about that. And I know it has happened previously. Like back in the day, there was the news articles and the journalists and everything like that. They used to go around, ask the clubs for questions. They used to have people that, infiltrate the club, secrets and that get leaked to the media. But nowadays with social media, the news is so accessible. Everybody knows everything at a high frequency and very, very instantly. Social media provides that. So as far as sports concerned, that's the one big thing for me, is like when teams are leaked beforehand, and also like players moving beforehand and things like that. Now with movies, I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with movie leaks. With like movies, especially for me, like the biggest leaks that I like have seen and that I've tried to avoid mainly has been the Marvel movies, specific like the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, with like when Spider-Man No Way Home was announced, and then they were leaking that, oh, who's all gonna be in there? Tom is gonna be in there, Andrew's gonna be in there, Toby's gonna be in there. Here's some set photos, here's this, here's that. And I feel like that ruined it. I thought genuinely it would ruin the experience for me in the theater. But it didn't nearly ruin it as much, because it was still nice to see it in the moment, It was still nice to be in the theater having that atmosphere. But knowing that beforehand, I wasn't as surprised, It wasn't as fun as just going to the theater and it completely catches you off guard. I think that feeling would hit harder as opposed to knowing beforehand. Like, you gotta stay off social media for like the 24 or 48 hours before you go see the movie. As soon as the first, like wherever it's released first, if it's released there, people are going to be talking about it online, people are going to be translating it on social media. So as far as movies like that, I mean, it does ruin it a little bit for me as far as the movies go. And then third one that I want to mention out of the big three is games. Now, I'm a big games kind of guy, I like video games. And the video games that get like leaked and news that gets leaked sometimes is about if there's DLC coming, so like downloadable content. So certain characters might be coming to a fighting game, and then they data mine everything, and they leak all the characters. So by the time the trailer comes out, you already know what characters are coming out and whether you should be excited or not. So there is no mystery, there's no surprise, So like that will happen in the DLC. Maybe even a game beforehand will get leaked. Like I know there was a huge leak for the Marvel Wolverine game that's produced by not Square Enix, by Insomniac. They were busy working on a Wolverine game, and then a huge leak came out that they were busy working on this, and they haven't said anything. They didn't post anything about it. Someone just the leaks just let fly on the internet. So for a long time, I thought it was never gonna happen again, and then eventually they released it officially. You know, they made a trailer for it. I think it was at E3 or at Sony's, one of Sony's events. And then the other thing as well is like I already mentioned, but I mentioned the DLCs. I mentioned new games that get leaked, and sometimes like with content within the game. So like if you take Fortnite for example, right? Fortnite's a huge online game, and they usually have like skins that release in the game. They usually have like modes or events, or they have like certain collabs that might happen. And then in Fortnite's like the biggest. I feel like Fortnite has the biggest community of leakers because beforehand, like I think there's a new season coming out, or a new chapter or something, right? And they've leaked so much that's like coming out already, and the season isn't even out. So if you are following the game now, you're hearing this, you're catching wind of this. That is like, oh, Kill Bill's coming to the game, by the way. Oh yeah, by the way, Marty McFly, Back to the Future, he's gonna be in there. And you see all these things get posted, and you see all these leaks coming out from these leakers and data miners and stuff like that. And I feel like even if you don't follow them, if you follow the content, you're most likely to come across their content because everybody's talking about it. You know, it's gaining a lot of traction on social media. And my question is basically, does this ruin the entertainment, and does this ruin the experience that we have when we're watching a movie or when we're playing a game, knowing that things are coming out beforehand, knowing that these things are confirmed? You know, it's not like even just guesses. It's like things that are literally gonna happen, that it's like proved and it's like solid. I don't know. For me, like it depends on the surprise and whether I care like a lot about it or not. But I know different people feel differently about each situation, whether it's movies, series, games, whatever, you know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video, guys. Let me know if leaks is like a big thing for you, if you don't really care if things get leaked and you're excited regardless. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Drop a comment below. I appreciate all the support on the videos. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.